welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. And today we've got X-Men Sudoku for you by Tenali Rahman. And Tenali Rahman, of course, is one of those wonderful compilers where every puzzle that they produce is a complete joy to solve. So I know I'm in for a treat today. And apparently this is only 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so it oughtn't to be monstrously hard. Now this was Tenali Rahman's contribution to our latest monthly sort of challenge over on the Discord server. The title for this month is Superheroics, which I guess accounts for the X-Men theme. And I'll read you the rules in a second, but I have been very disturbed indeed to see some of the pictures emerging on Discord over the last 24 hours or so. I believe Scott Strosal is the man we need to thank for these. Let me show you. Look at this. I mean, Mark doesn't look too bad as Brainiac, to be fair. But this is some lame superhero called Mr. Terrific. Yours truly has been daubed up in his costume. Yeah, so I thought you might be amused to see that. Thanks, Scott. Now, quick heads up on some bonus content I've released today over on Patreon, which basically revolved around me watching Mark solve of yesterday's Thomas Snyder classic Sudoku, very hard classic Sudoku. And Mark solved it on the channel last night, and I watched the video this morning, and I was just simply stunned because the path Mark took through the puzzle was as far from what I did as you can possibly imagine. In fact, I think I got very lucky because I basically found a hack for that Sudoku that I thought you might like to see. So I've recorded a video sort of showing how I solved it. It's obviously not a live solve because I'd solved it already, but it does show you the sorts of things I looked for, and the logic I think is quite interesting. So if you want to see how I hacked Thomas Snyder's classic Sudoku, that is on Patreon right now. Oh yeah, next thing I want to mention, it's not really a Sudoku topic at all, but it revolves around my love for the poet Brian Bilston. Now I know I overuse the word genius, but Brian, he produced a poem which is genius, which is called Refugees, and I highly recommend you seek that out if you haven't heard of it already. I mean, literally, this is how refugees work. You read it forwards and it seems to have one meaning, and if you read it backwards, it has the opposite meaning. I kid you not, it's unbelievable. Anyway, Brian yesterday tweeted this Brie encounter, which is sort of I'm not going to butcher it by reading it out, but it is absolutely extraordinary, in which he's replaced, it's sort of a love poem where he's used cheeses instead of the sort of the natural phrasing, but it works so unbelievably well. I cannot tell you how impressive I found this. So it's on the screen there. Do take a moment to read it and admire it, because I think it is absolutely beautiful. Now, what else do I want to tell you about? Tomorrow morning, more bonus stuff. This time on the main channel, though, we've got Jovial's video where he explains how he constructed the puzzle Syzygy. It's a really lovely watch, and for anyone who's an aspiring constructor out there, I highly recommend it to you. And I would put out a quick plea as well. If you are a constructor and you've been featured on the channel and you fancy making a video explaining the sort of methods that you use to make these masterpieces, do get in touch with me, because it's something I'm quite keen to do more of. I'm quite keen to have more constructor videos on Cracking the Cryptic. It seems a very natural thing for us to do. So let me know. Anything else to mention? I don't think so. Let's have a look at the puzzle. Let me read you the rules. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Clues outside the grid give the sum of the digits along the indicated diagonal, and digits along the diagonal may repeat. So normal little killer rules. In cages, digits must sum to the small clue in the top left corner of the cage. Digits cannot repeat within a cage. So normal killer Sudoku rules. And digits on a grey line form a palindrome, i.e. they read the same forwards and backwards. So let's look at this grey line here. So if this was a 1, oh, why is that doing that? If that was a 1, that would have to be a 1. And if this was a 2, that would have to be a 2. So that if we now read this forwards, 1, 2, 2, 1, and then read it backwards, 1, 2, 2, 1, it reads the same way. So that is perfect. Now, the other thing I've got to remember to do, apparently, is to get rid of the big blue X in the screen, because the testers say that this will disturb my ability to solve the puzzle. Whatever that means. I think that must mean we're going to have to do some colouring, but we shall see. Do have a go yourselves. The way to play, of course, is to click the link under the video. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. So, okay, so not surprising. I'm not seeing anything or any cages that I can immediately fill in candidates for. That's a 7-cell cage, is it? We've got a lot of symmetry going on here. I suppose it's not surprising if you put a big X in the grid. These are all... Right, well these are all 7-cell cages, and I can't do anything with them, but I can note something about them given the secret. Now if you don't know what the secret is, let me tell you. Imagine that these cages weren't 7-cell cages. Let's imagine they were 9-cell cages. Given that cages can't repeat a digit, a 9-cell cage would have to contain all of the digits from 1 to 9. If you add up all the digits 1 to 9, you get 45. This is the key number for Killer Sudoku. So that means a 7-cell cage that adds to 34 is missing 2 digits that must sum up to 45 minus 34, must sum up to 11. So that's interesting, but maybe not useful. That's missing 2 cells summing to 9, 2 cells summing to 12, 2 cells summing to 8. Okay. Palindromes. I do not see how on earth they can be useful at this point. Famous last words. Little killer clues. 65 is very large, actually. Yeah, okay. So the thing that I am being struck by now, I think about it, is that 65 is very large and 25 is very small. So is this trying to tell us that that square is a 5? That's what I'm wondering, because this diagonal is sort of pushing up every cell along it, and this will be pushing down. So the cell where they meet is under stress. It's being pulled and pushed at the same time. So, and why do I say this is high? Well, I mean, imagine this was, in fact, this. That's interesting as well. That can't actually be 7, 8 or 9. So perhaps we do have to do this, but let me just regain my train of thought and tell you what I was thinking. The maximum you can put on a diagonal, ignoring all of the stuff in the grid for a moment, would be 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. That's 3 lots of 24, which is 72. So there isn't that much latitude with a 65 total. But that square, look, that can't be 7, 8 or 9, because if it's 7, that would cause double 1 here, which won't work. So that square's got a maximum value of 6. 7, 8, 9 here. 7, 8, 9 there just works. I then have to put 1, 2, 3, 4 into the other cells. So we could do 7, 8, 9 there. That one, this is the one I think is going to end up being squeezed. Oh, now, hang on. This set of 3 cells can't be 7, 8, 9. Because if it is 7, 8, 9, what are we going to put into the other 4 cells in the cage? These squares would have to add up to 9, and you can't make 4 cells add up to 9 if they're all different digits. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. So this has a maximum value of 6, 8, and 9. Now that one can't be greater than 7. Again, 8 would cause double 1. Now this is very suspicious, isn't it? So look, it's like this has carefully been designed to be 6, 7, 8, 9 maximum. This has been carefully designed to be 6, 7, 8, 9 maximum. So these squares together have a maximum value of 30 times 2, which is 60. Which means this square must be at least equal to 5. Which isn't surprising given what I'm sort of expecting. And that means as we reduce any of these digits, we're increasing this digit. Yeah, so this has, I can't remember if I said a maximum or a minimum value of 5, but it's a minimum value of 5. It's got to be, every time you reduce any of these other cells from their maximum value, you've got to increase this square. So let's check this diagonal now and see what the minimum values are along here. In fact, yeah, look, immediately this square can't be 1, 2 or 3, so that's got minimum value of 4. Those three, yeah, it's the same. This is gonna be how it works. These squares have a minimum value of 1, 2 and 3, and 1, 2 and 3 looks perfect because that just allows those 4 other squares to be 6, 7, 8, 9 to get us to 36. Now these squares, well, yeah, these squares can't be 1, 2 and 3, and we know that for 2 reasons. Firstly, if they're 1, 2 and 3, we know that the 2 cells missing from this cage sum to 8, and that's impossible if the 1, 2 and the 3 are in the cage. And the other way of thinking about that is to ask, how do we make those 4 squares add up to 31? If these are adding up to 6, you can't make 4 squares add up to 31 with different digits. So this is not correct. The minimum they can be is 7. And the minimum this square can be is 3 because it's in a 20 cage. And we get, look at this. You get 1, 2, 3, 4 there, that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4 there, that's another 10, that's 20. So this square has it doesn't just have a minimum value of 5, it has a maximum value of 5 from this direction. Because if we increase any of these minimum digits by just 1, we have to reduce the value of this square. So it is being pushed and pulled at the same time, but it can sit at a perfect 5 value and sort of ensure that there is balance in the force. So this is 5. Oh, well, yeah, okay. And if this is 5, not only do we know that it's 5, because it is 5, we also know that these minimums are all correct and these maximums are all correct. So we can actually change some of these digits. Look, that's going to be a 6. Which means those 2 squares are a 1 and a 2. This is a 7, 8, 9 triple. This is a 6, 8, 9 triple. This is a 7. Those 2 squares are a 1, 2 pair. Yeah, and the symmetry is now sort of smacking me in the face, isn't it? Because look, we've got 1s and 2s here, and we're going to have 8s and 9s here. Because once we make this the 4 it needs to be, and this the 3 it needs to be, you need 8 9s in the wings of these L triominos or trominos or whatever the word is. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. Oh, yeah, and look, we can keep going. Because if these squares are 1, 2, and 3, what are those squares? Sorry, what are those 4 squares? They've got to be 6, 7, 8, and 9. And in fact, though, this is just going absolutely beautifully for a change. 8 and 9 here means those 2 squares are not 8, 9, which means these 2 squares are 8, 9. Now, can we carry on with that? Yeah, we can. We can do exactly the same in the 33 cage now. These 4 squares have got to add up to 10 because we've already got 23. So they are 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 here. These are 3 and 4. So those become 1 and 2 again. And I'm already wondering about colouring. But let's carry on going around the grid. We've got 7 here, we need 30 more. Yeah, so that's beautiful. We've got 6, 7, 8 and 9. 8, 9 here. So we get rid of the 6, 7 there. And yeah, and we can do exactly the same here. We've got 24 in the cage. 4 cells more have to be 1, 2, 3 and 4 to make 10. The 1 and the 2 lock the 1 and the 2 out of there. That locks the 3 and the 4 out of here. And we get a very nicely pencil marked X. Now, I can't resist it anymore. I'm going to colour in. In fact, I am definitely going to colour in because that square is begging to be coloured. Because look, these squares are on the palindrome. So we're not saying these are a 1, 2 pair. We're saying they are the same digit. And therefore, if we can colour them in, and therefore that needs to be a different colour. We'll make that green, therefore. Which actually makes that one green. Because it can't be purple because it's in the same cage as a purple. But look, these purples are staring at this square. Because we know one of these needs to be a 1 or a 2, and the only one that can be is this one. So that's not a 3. Okay, and now, remember this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. Which one of these squares is green? One of them must be, and it's not that one, because that C's green in the row. So that's green, and therefore we've got a 1, 2 pair, which gives us another digit. We get a 3. And we need a green in those 3 squares. It's got to be that one. Yeah, it's the same. Now the purple, where does the purple go in this triple? This purple rules a purple out of this square. So this must be a purple, which means this square is a 4 because there's now a 1, 2 pair in the cage. Now, oh look, purple. So this is now forced to be green, and by the palindrome that is forced to be green, which means that's forced to be purple. This is forced to be purple. I've done a lot of purpling all of a sudden. There's a purple in one of those two. Purple in one of those two. Green in one of these two. Green in one of these two. So have I got, I think I must have the same number. I have. I've got 6 purples and 6 greens. And I've got, right, yeah, and I've got 2 more palindromes to use, and they're on 8s and 9s. So what's the betting they give me these digits? Probably as 6s and 7s, looking at what's going on. This is just a beautiful puzzle in terms of the symmetry, isn't it? So these two have to be the same. We'll make those blue. We'll make the other square orange, therefore. So this is orange. And now it's going to be the same. Look, orange is here and here. One of those 3 is orange. The only one that could possibly be orange is that one. It's the only one that's high enough. Now we ask which one of these is blue. One of them has to be. This is a 7, 8, 9 triple. That one is not. So that's blue. And therefore it's not 7, which gives us the 7 here. And that means, look at this one. This one is seeing that square. So this is now blue. This is orange. This is orange. This is blue. This is blue, and therefore it's not 6. And in the 6, 8, 9 triple, this square can't be orange. So that's orange. And that means that square is a, sorry, that square is a, this one is not a 6. That one is a 6. And have I coloured everything? I have coloured everything, apart from 3s, 4s, 6s and 7s. But do the 8s and 9s work exactly the same way? Have I got 6 of the, I've got 6 of those, and yes they do. So now we need to break the symmetry somehow. Oh, hang on a moment. I've got, whatever I've been doing has given me an awful lot of knowledge about in fact all of the corner boxes I'm now seeing. I've got to put 5 and 7 into those squares now. Oh, I see. Right, now look at this. Now we can use the palindrome again. This is 5 or 7. So this is 5 or 7. Well, it's not 7. There's a 7 here. So this is, these are both 5s. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look what's going to happen now. It's going to be like a Catherine wheel going round the grid. 5 in box 3 gets pushed onto the palindrome. Where does it get pushed in box 9? Yep, onto the palindrome. Where does it get pushed in box 7? Onto the palindrome. All the 5s are just done in a flutter like that. And look, the Catherine wheel of 5s going round the grid. That is absolutely beautiful. And it means that square is a 7. And that by Sudoku gives us a 7 and a 6 over here. And this square is known now. That's a 3 because we need a 3 in this box. And now the 3 is poking down here and giving us a 3 and a 4. Now, which means we must know that square is a 6 now to complete box 9. The 6 is there, that gives us a 6 here, a 6 here. This 6 is giving us 6s and 7s. 7 by Sudoku has to go there in box 8, there in box 2. 6 in box 2 goes here. Goes here in box 8. I think, are we going to get all the 6? Maybe I've got all the 6s. Yeah, I can get a 7 here, a 7 here, 2, 3. I've got all the 7s, so I think I'm going to be able to get all of the 7s, the 6s, the 3s, and the 4s because of the symmetry of the puzzle. They must work the same way, mustn't they? Or have I missed something here? 3, 3, 3, 4. Yes, that gets me a 3 here. That gets me a 3 here. 1, 2, 3. I've got all the 3s. Right, 4s. Yes, 4. 4. Yep, 4 there. What am I missing here? Can I get the 4 down there? I must be able to, can't I? Or have I made a mistake? I think I might have made a mistake. Oh, no, I haven't. It's just I've not filled in the 4 in this one. 4 goes here, so 4 goes there. And now I have done all the 4s. I've done all the 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s. I've coloured some 8s and 9s and 1s and 2s. What is... Oh, is this what's breaking the symmetry? I think this diagonal is all that's left. I might be missing something there. Yeah, this is absolutely lovely. I can colour the rest of the grid. Because look, I've got blue and purple here and orange here. So this square is what? It must be green. And this must be blue to finish box 2 off. And now this is blue by Sudoku. That's blue by Sudoku. Oh, just... The thing about Tenali Raman's puzzles is they are just a joy to solve. There has been very little about this that's monstrously hard, but it hasn't detracted at all from the sort of solving. For the cleverness, it's clearly an incredibly clever puzzle, but also the enjoyment factor is just terrific. Now, what's that going to be? Purple. So have I now coloured the whole grid? I probably have missed a cell, but I think I'm pretty close to it if I haven't done it. So now does this 29 do what I'm hoping it does? I've got 12 on it now, so the other 3 have to add up to 17. Oh, well, okay. Look, we've got 2 oranges on here. If these were both 9, that would be 18 already. That's too high. In fact, this has to be double 8, and this has to be 1. That's the only way I can keep those 3 squares there down to a value of 17. And now we know orange is 8. Therefore, we know blue is 9. We know green is 1. And therefore, purple is 2. Ta-da! Let me click tick. Yes. What a brilliant puzzle that is. That is just beautiful. Now, I'm sorry the video is a little bit shorter than usual today, but I hope that well, I'm sure you'll forgive that. That was just a lovely, lovely puzzle. And if you, as I say, if you want more content, go and have a look at the hack of Thomas Snyder's classic Sudoku over on Patreon. I think many of you will enjoy that. And thanks so much for watching, and we will be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.